Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So, things that will take your money. So, before we get started, if you can, hit the subscribe button, helps my channel grow. Hit the like button, and if you like, leave comments. Really love to hear from you. Okay, let's get started. Things that take your money. Okay, as you're in retirement or even getting near retirement, new cars. New cars it's not an investment. They're great to have. They're wonderful to have. But the minute you buy them, they depreciate by 15% right off the bat. So it's just not a great, you can't even say it's an investment because it's not an investment. So buy that new car early enough so by the time you retire, your car's paid off. And you maintain it, it's good shape, and you have to tell yourself there's better things to do with your money. Credit card debt. That will just steal your money like nobody's business. So whatever you put on your credit card, you've got to be willing to pay it off. You got to say, if I don't have the money to pay cash for it, then I'm not buying it. Now, good to use cards for rewards programs, things like that. My wife and I do it all the time, but we pay our credit card bill at the end of the month. Sometimes we make two payments, twice a month, just to make sure that the card stays free and empty and never carries interest. So, okay to use, but don't turn it into something where you're carrying interest, because it's amazing. The average interest nowadays, 24 to 30%, on average. Doesn't matter how good your credit is. They're looking to make money. Next thing is, helping your adult children. It's a very controversial thing. We want to help our children, but at what cost are we really helping them? Are we prolonging their inability to be on their own 2 feet and to make things happen? Do you know that if you gave your child $500 a month for a year, that's $6,000 that you could have put into an IRA. You could have put into some investments. You gotta say, it's probably a better investment with that money than helping them. But I'm not saying you shouldn't help them. But you gotta be careful. That could be a money pit that just never ends, and then you never really get them to be on their own and be responsible. Something to really look at. Whole life insurance. A whole life insurance policy, not worth it anymore. Maybe some term life, maybe, but most of the time you've got things that you can cover, your insurance needs with, like covering your funeral expenses and things of that sort with different policies that make a lot more sense. Whole life doesn't pay off, and you're paying a lot of money and not getting back a return. It's worth asking someone in the investment field and not another insurance agent, whether it's a smart way to where to put your money. Home upgrades. Take a look at, do you really, are you really wanting, I think it's a smart thing let's upgrade improve the kitchen, improve the bathroom. Well, maybe if you plan to sell the house at some point, that might be a smart and, makes sense kind of arrangement. Otherwise, you're probably not a good return on your money. And the last thing I have on the list is large homes. Now, large homes, you are paying a lot to keep that large home. So now you could say to yourself, it's time to sell and downgrade and take that money and put it wisely to use in your retirement. But you have to look at the cost of a large home, the taxes, property taxes, what you're paying is invariably on that larger home is going to be quite a bit substantially higher. Your utilities, your gas, your electric, your water, all of that to maintain that larger home is going to cost you more money. So it's, again, something to think about whether you really want, that kind of payment. And of course, then there's the maintenance, the upkeep. You know, how is the roof? How is the air conditioning unit itself? The hot water heater? All the things they're quite expensive to replace. And are you ready and to lay out that kind of money, for the upkeep? So sometimes it makes better sense to take a look at that and say to yourself, you know what, maybe it's time for us to just put the house up for sale and move on to, shall we call it, greener pastures. And when I say greener pastures, more money coming into your pocket. So those are some things to think about that really can drain, especially if you are retired or you're about to retire. So with that, I'm going to tell you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.